But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past. Okay.
How do you just have this be so one-sided? It is, I mean, it's such a miscarriage of justice. This is not what justice is supposed to look like. It's just, it's incredibly disappointing.
The most powerful couple in music didn't just attend Epstein's gatherings. They allegedly took part in ceremonies so deeply buried that even the Department of Justice is stalling their release. Everyone assumed the worst was already public, that the files would confirm meetings, maybe favors, until insiders revealed the documents describe participation, not presence. And the redactions aren't just about victims. Right now, a fresh leak is spreading. Beyoncé and Jay-Z are allegedly named in unsealed records tied to rituals, with the DOJ admitting it has released less than 1% of over 2 million pages, while Congress threatens contempt charges. A lawsuit originally filed in 2000 and refiled last December accuses Jay-Z and Diddy of assaulting a 13-year-old at an after-party. Jay-Z's team is now scrambling to suppress influencers with legal threats. Meanwhile, Ghislaine Maxwell's prison filing names 29 protected men who allegedly settled with victims but were never charged. The DOJ claims it is protecting privacy, yet its own release timetable passed months ago. The next file drop could include a VIP guest list with names that rewrite history. Something doesn't add up. If these were just social events, why would the government risk legal consequences to keep them hidden? And why is Beyoncé's 2025 tour suddenly in jeopardy? The real explosion isn't what's already leaked. It's the terabytes of evidence still locked away, and the people who know their careers end the moment those files go public.
That's the problem that I have with this whole situation. But I am going to save this conversation for Jay-Z. Jay-Z, you're watching. I know you're watching, but you got people calling me. Stop having people call me. You can call me yourself. You know how to get my number. You know you got people calling me. Call me yourself, because this right here is going to go viral. The way my job works on the internet, everybody's going to be clipping, sharing on TikTok. Watch.
The Department of Justice's stalling tactic just hit a wall. Congress is now threatening to hold Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt for refusing to release the full Epstein files. And the few documents that have slipped out paint a picture far more damning than anyone expected. The files don't just mention Beyoncé and Jay-Z in passing. They allegedly place them at the center of events so heavily redacted that even judges overseeing the case are raising questions. The timing couldn't be worse. As the DOJ claims it is working around the clock to review millions of pages, Ghislaine Maxwell drops a legal bombshell from her Texas prison cell, naming 29 powerful men who allegedly settled with Epstein's victims but were never charged. The filing doesn't just point fingers. It exposes a system where the right connections could make accusations disappear. Meanwhile, the DOJ's response has been silence, a delay tactic that's starting to look like a full-blown cover-up. The first real crack in the story came when insiders revealed that the files describe more than just social gatherings. They allegedly detail ceremonies with dates and locations that align with times when Beyoncé and Jay-Z were known to be in Epstein's orbit. And here's where the narrative bends. If these were just parties, why would the DOJ risk legal consequences to keep them hidden? The answer may lie in the 200,000 pages already released, which include a 2020 email flagging that Jay-Z traveled on Epstein's private jet far more times than previously reported. That's not a footnote, that's a red flag. And it's not the only one. A 20-year-old lawsuit refiled last December accuses Jay-Z and Diddy of assaulting a 13-year-old at an MTV afterparty in 2000, a case buried for decades before resurfacing at the worst possible moment. Jay-Z's response wasn't a denial. It was a counterattack. He labeled the accuser's lawyer, Tony Busby, a blackmailer, then escalated by bringing his children into the public response, posting about having to explain the allegations to them. That's not how innocent people usually respond. That's how someone with everything to lose plays the media game. And the timing? The lawsuit resurfaced the same week the DOJ missed its deadline to release the files. Another coincidence, or another piece of the same puzzle? What's becoming clear is this: the files aren't just a scandal. They're a negotiation. The DOJ isn't only protecting victims, it's protecting the powerful. And the files are the leverage.
And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit. And
the real tension isn't in what's been released, it's in what's still locked away. The Department of Justice admits it has uncovered over 300 gigabytes of data, including videos and audio files, yet it has shared only a fraction of 1%. That's not caution. That's control. The few documents that have surfaced include references to ceremonial participation, a phrase that doesn't merely imply attendance. It suggests involvement. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's silence has been deafening. No statements. No denials. Not even the carefully worded PR responses her team usually deploys when scandals flare. That's not neutrality, it's strategy. Then there's the reaction from Jay-Z's legal team. They haven't just been fighting the lawsuit, they've allegedly been reaching out to influencers, pressuring them to back off the Diddy connections. Jason Lee, a commentator with no direct ties to the case, went public with a chilling warning: if I go missing, you know why. That's not paranoia, that's the sound of someone who believes they're being watched. And then there's Piers Morgan, who initially platformed accusations against Jay-Z and Beyoncé, only to retract them after a call from their lawyer, Alex Spiro. The segment was edited, the claims removed, and Morgan issued an on-air apology. That's not journalism, that's damage control. The question isn't whether the files are damning. It's why the DOJ is acting like they're radioactive. The answer may lie in the 200,000 pages already released, documents that include unverified tips, public complaints, and a single 2020 email flagging Jay-Z's frequent flights on Epstein's private jet.
Is and never was part of the Epstein files. She was sentenced in 2025. This was an interview by Trump's lawyer to protect Trump from the fallout about the Epstein files. What this really is nothing but a sketchy PR stunt by the Department of Justice. And we have seen this movie before. The Maxwell interview is to the Epstein files what the Barr letter was to the Mueller investigation.
The most telling detail isn't in the files, it's in the reactions. The DOJ's stalling. Jay-Z's legal threats. Beyoncé's silence. Diddy's conviction. Ghislaine Maxwell's prison filings. They're all connected, not by coincidence, but by a shared understanding. Some secrets are too valuable to release. The 29 protected men aren't just names on a list. They're players in a system where information is the real currency, and the files are the ledger. The question isn't just what's in them. It's who's willing to burn the whole thing down to keep them hidden. But here's what no one is asking yet. If the DOJ is this terrified of the unreleased files, what's hiding in the ones they've already released that we've overlooked? The email about Jay-Z's flights. The lawsuit tied to the 2000 party. The 300 gigabytes of data. These aren't details, they're clues. And the next drop isn't just another batch of documents. It's the match. The only question left is who's standing in the gasoline when it lights. That's where the story turns dangerous. Because the files aren't just about Epstein, they're about an entire network of people who believed they were untouchable. The DOJ's delays aren't just suspicious. They're synchronized with the moves of the accused. Jay-Z's lawyer isn't just fighting a lawsuit, he's silencing critics. Beyoncé's silence isn't just PR, it's calculation. And the 29 men Ghislaine Maxwell named aren't waiting for the storm to pass, they're making sure it never hits them. The files aren't just documents. They're a ticking clock. And the next drop could change everything.
I know so much on how you got where you are. how you stepped on many people.
What's becoming clear is that the real story isn't in the files themselves, it's in the desperate attempts to keep them buried. The DOJ's excuses are wearing thin. Public patience is running out. And the people named in those documents aren't waiting for the truth to emerge, they're making sure it doesn't. The question isn't whether the files are damning. It's what happens when the last line of defense fails. And that moment is coming faster than anyone expected. Because the files aren't just a scandal, they're a reckoning. The people who thought they were safe are about to find out they're not. The only question left is who goes down first, and who takes the rest with them. The most dangerous part of this story isn't what's already public. It's what's still coming, the DOJ's next move, the next lawsuit, the next leak, the next name. The files aren't just documents. They're evidence. And the clock is running out. The only question left is who will still be standing when the final file drops. And that's where the real story begins. Because the files aren't just about the past, they're about the future. And that future is about to get very, very messy. The kind of messy that doesn't just end careers, it rewrites history. The Epstein files aren't about a single scandal. They're about a system that's been operating in plain sight for decades, and the cracks are finally showing. Take the lawsuit refiled last December accusing Jay-Z and Diddy of assaulting a 13-year-old at an MTV afterparty in 2000. That case didn't come out of nowhere. It resurfaced at the exact moment the DOJ was supposed to release the full trove of Epstein documents, files that allegedly describe ceremonies involving some of the biggest names in music. And then there's the reaction, or lack of one, from Beyoncé, whose silence isn't just notable, it's strategic. She's not merely a bystander, she's a player. And her refusal to respond suggests she knows exactly what's in those files, and what it could do to her carefully constructed image. The real pattern isn't just the allegations. It's how the powerful close ranks when the walls start closing in. Look at Piers Morgan, who initially platformed accusations against Jay-Z and Beyoncé, only to retract them after a call from their lawyer. The segment was edited, the claims removed, and Morgan issued an on-air apology. That wasn't a correction, it was a surrender. And it wasn't the only one. Jason Lee, a commentator with no direct ties to the case, publicly warned that he might go missing if he kept talking. That's not paranoia, it's the sound of someone who's seen how this machine works. Because the machine doesn't just silence critics. It erases them. And the files? They're the ledger. The question isn't just what's inside them, it's who's willing to make sure they never see the light of day.
And it was pretty much said like, Jay doesn't really want awards. Well, he go to the Grammys.
Right.
He come into the black-owned spaces. Let's figure out how to work together, so that way we have the relationship when it matters, not when it's convenient for you and your image. Because they all call us when the story is up that they don't.
What's becoming clear is that the Epstein files aren't just a collection of documents. They're a map of how power really works. The Department of Justice's stalling isn't incompetence, it's negotiation. The 29 men Ghislaine Maxwell named from prison aren't just individuals. They're part of a network that spent years making sure certain secrets stayed buried. And the files aren't just about Epstein. They're about the people who used his operation to their advantage, the ones who believed they were untouchable. The real danger isn't what's already out. It's what's still coming. The next file drop. The next name on the list. The next person who realizes they aren't as safe as they thought. The most damning part of this story isn't the allegations themselves. It's how the pieces fit together when you step back. The DOJ's delays. Jay-Z's legal threats. Beyoncé's silence. Diddy's conviction. Ghislaine Maxwell's prison filings. These aren't separate events. They're connected. And the connection isn't just about what happened. It's about what's still happening. The files aren't just a record of the past. They're a blueprint for how the powerful protect themselves. And the people named in those documents aren't waiting for the storm to pass, they're making sure it never hits. The question isn't whether the truth will come out. It's what they're willing to do to stop it.
Now I would want, why?
Just to talk to her, answer face to face.
One answer.
And that's where the story gets even darker. Because the files aren't just about Epstein's operation, they're about the industry that enabled it. The music business has always had its shadows. But this isn't about backroom deals or questionable contracts. This is about a system where certain people could operate above the law. Where allegations could be buried with the right phone call. Where careers could be made or destroyed based on who you knew and what you were willing to overlook. The Epstein files aren't just a scandal. They're a reckoning. And the people who thought they were safe are starting to realize they're not. The real tension isn't in the files themselves. It's in the desperate attempts to keep them buried. The DOJ's excuses are wearing thin. The public's patience is running out. And the people named in those documents aren't waiting for the truth to come out, they're making sure it doesn't. The question isn't whether the files are damning. It's what happens when the last line of defense fails. And that moment is coming faster than anyone expected. Because the files aren't just a scandal, they're a reckoning. And the people who thought they were in control are about to find out they're not. What's becoming clear is that the Epstein files aren't about one man's crimes. They're about an entire ecosystem of complicity. The DOJ's next move isn't just about releasing documents, it's about controlling the fallout. The next lawsuit isn't just about justice, it's about leverage. The next leak isn't just about exposure, it's about survival. And the people who thought they were untouchable are starting to feel the ground shift beneath them. The files are coming. And when they do, nothing will be the same. This isn't the kind of change that just ends careers, it rewrites history. The most dangerous part of this story isn't what's already out. It's what's still coming. The DOJ's next move. The next lawsuit. The next leak. The next name on the list. The files aren't just documents, they're evidence. And the clock is running out. The only question left is who will still be standing when the final file drops. And that's where the real story begins. Because the files aren't just about the past. They're about the future. And that future is about to get very, very messy.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them.
But here's the part no one's talking about yet. The files aren't just about Epstein's operation. They're about the industry that enabled it. The music business has always had its shadows. But this isn't about backroom deals or questionable contracts. This is about a system where certain people could operate above the law, where allegations could be buried with the right phone call, where careers could be made or destroyed based on who you knew and what you were willing to overlook. The Epstein files aren't just a scandal. They're a reckoning. And the people who thought they were safe are starting to realize they're not. The real question isn't whether the files will be released. It's what happens when they are. The DOJ's stalling tactics won't last forever. The public's demand for answers isn't going away. And the people named in those files are running out of time. The files aren't just documents. They're a ticking clock. And when it goes off, the explosion won't just be about what happened, it'll be about who knew, who looked the other way, and who's still trying to control the narrative. This isn't the kind of explosion that just ends careers. It changes the game entirely. And that's where we are now. The files are coming. The powerful are panicking. And the rest of us are about to find out just how deep the rabbit hole goes. The Epstein files aren't just a story. They're a turning point. And the people who thought they were in control are about to learn the hard way that no one is untouchable forever. So here's where we leave it, for now. Because this story isn't over. Not by a long shot. The files are still coming. The names are still hidden. And the people who thought they were safe are starting to sweat. So tell us, who do you think is in those files? Who's really pulling the strings? And what happens when the last secret comes out? Drop your theories below. Because this is the kind of story that doesn't end with an article. It ends with a reckoning. And we're all watching. Eyes.